in about last week or so, I asked myself a very, very deep reflective question. And I would say that question kind of awakened something in me, something that has never been awakened or never fully awakened, right? I practice a lot of self awareness, right? And just looking at what I need to do when it comes to, because I really believe in the law of causality. So anything that is currently happening to you first has to exist on the mental plane before it exists on the physical plane. Do you get what I mean? And that's why self reflection is very, very important. It makes you realize a lot of things that is happening on your mindset that is now kind of projecting the current reality that you are in. Because I saw an article, right? First of all, I'm going to start from there. I saw an article that the message, it's just this kind of like motivational article, but not necessarily motivational, right? So you're just trying to pass a message across to people who are ambitious but still are kind of inconsistent. And it just says that it's not an inconsistent problem. If you know that you're actually ambitious, it's not an inconsistent problem, right? That most of the times it's due to lack of clarity. And this video is kind of a video that this currently like maybe 350 something, right? If you, I just woke up right now, so I just decided to make this video very quick before I go do other things I want to do that are important. So going back to the message of the thing, it says that it's just that you lack clarity basically. And when I read the article, it kind of dawned on me that, bro, this is your problem. I read the article in like maybe like 4 months now. I'm still gonna go back to why I said 4 months or 5 months. So it literally says that when you don't prioritize a specific thing in your life that needs to get done, do you get what I mean? You would automatically be inconsistent, even though you're ambitious. Now let me give you let me go in depth more into what I'm saying. I watched a lot of Alex Hormoz's videos, and if you're not watching Alex Hormoz's videos, please kindly do, because he's one of those what I want to say influencers or people that create YouTube videos, advice for young people trying to make money, that kind of thing. He's one of those people that will actually give you what you need to hear. Do you get what I mean? From his own experience, not people who are just writing scripts. That I don't even know if they're the one writing the script for themselves, allegedly. Do you get what I mean? The advice he gives are top notch, right? So he said something in one of his videos whereby he said, and this is actually one of his core messages that he loves conveying out there, because and I see it, and he says it a lot, that it's one of the mistakes that really held him back for a long period of time, which is don't try to fill a lot of cups at once. And that's literally me. Don't try to fill a lot of cups at once. Pick one cup and try and fill it to the brim as fast as possible. Now, what does that mean? Ever since I've started all this whole concept of, I want to get to my desired reality, I've been doing it all wrong, right? I've been trying to fill a lot of cups, doing this, doing this, doing this, not even having one thing I take as priority, right? One thing I take as full priority. Do you get what I mean? One thing I take as full priority. That this thing, any other thing comes third, not one second. That this one thing is what I literally want to do, and I'm going to fill the cup to the full as fast as possible. And try and get as much reps as I can get. I'm fully lock in. Right? And let me give you an example. I'm trying to be profitable. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be a good trader, right? And for you to be very good in something, well, very good in something and get to your desired reality fast, like according to Alex Moses, is that you need to cut out all distractions. You need to cut out every other thing. Let's say if you are opening five businesses, focus on one business. Delete all other five businesses that's currently delete all other five businesses, right? And just focus on one. Now I look at my life, I'm like, bro. Now this is how my life has been. I kind of have like five crops. I want to grow a fitness channel. I want to grow this channel. I also have a good. I want to get first class. I also I'm also trying to like. There was a time I think about last year or something like that. There was a time I picked up another thing. I started learning Chinese. To be honest, when I made this realization, I just laughed at myself like, bro, you fucked up, man. You fucked up big time. Because I looked up at my life, I'm like, bro, I've been stagnant for kind of like a year. Go back to the Chinese thing. I actually like really truly focused on learning that Chinese to like I kinda got to like intermediate of speaking Chinese. Intermediate of kinda like crossing over to the stage whereby you can now hold a conversation with a Chinese person. And I was even thinking of, starting a YouTube channel to document my journey learning Chinese. Like documenting or thinking of just starting random things again and having because where it all comes down back to ego. Even this YouTube channel, every other thing, it's only trading that is not driven by ego. And yeah, some people might be like, ego, what do you mean by ego? All of us have that ego in us. We just kind of, channel it into something. Do you get what I mean? And sometimes the channel it not not intentional, of course. Sometimes you channel it into something that's gonna affect you and hold you back and kinda create a version of yourself that's gonna make you stagnant, that kind of thing. And that version of myself that's making me stagnant, I really need to cut it off. And come to think of it, I am currently in a place whereby when it comes to some certain things in that will actually make you actually like just lock in and grind, that kind of thing. It's kind of limited. So let's say I'm meant to like have like maybe how would I put it, an average of let's say maybe 14 hours a day to just grind, right? It's kind of been minimized to like 8 hours. So why am I now using that 8 hours again? So now focus on different things. Do you get what I mean? Do you get the point of what I mean? Why not just use that 8 hours? Or at least maybe just pick out 1 hour to now do the things that are not priority, that comes third, not even second. And then use the remaining 7 hours to actually lock in and get the skill. And I still haven't even said the question I asked myself. The question I asked myself was, okay, the question came from a post I saw from Alex Omozi, which was, you're not, the world doesn't hate you. You're just not good at anything yet. Right? The world doesn't hate you. You're not just good at anything yet. And I looked at myself and I'm like, bro, wait, come on, wait. What are you good at? This question, yeah, it's a question that kind of like tapped some emotions in me that has never been tapped before. It's awakened some emotions in me that has never been tapped before. And I'm very bad in displaying emotion because I get it a lot that I have a poker face or something like that. Because the emotions running through me whenever I remember that question, the emotions that goes through my mind is crazy. Like waking up every single day, being disciplined, doing all of those things, and then asking myself a question like, "What are you good at?" and I'm not able to answer. God, nah, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. Not gonna lie, like it's really I'm really pissed with myself. If it's possible, I should I should remove glove, give it bodrum jet. Like I'm really pissed. Like really pissed. I feel like smashing this phone right now. Whenever I remember that question. It taps one crazy emotion in me. Literally. It taps one crazy emotion in me. I just and really, right now I'm just like, nah man, I cannot think of a future. And when I mean future, I mean next 3 months. Where I'm gonna wake up and still ask myself that question and I'll not be able to answer. I don't care how much of my nights and day I'm gonna sacrifice. I don't care every other thing I'm gonna sacrifice. I'm gonna make sure this thing I actually wanna do, which is trading, I'm gonna get good at it. Do you get what I mean? Know that there's one thing to have a goal. You get to that goal. So now you have a goal. Let's have a goal in 3 months. I get to that goal. I get to the 3 months. It's two things that can happen. Is that I've achieved the goal or I've not achieved the goal. Now it's not about the outcome. It's about what my consciousness thinks of me. It's about waking up in that 3 months, see that okay, you have not achieved the goal, and then be like, no, I tried, I actually tried. Than living in the regret of you could have done better, man. You could have done more. If you actually pushed hard, you would have achieved that goal. I don't want to wake up anytime in this future again and have that mindset and have that thought that I could have done more. Do you get what I mean? Bro, that's thought of you could have done better, man. What are you doing? You have done better. Like you could have done better. If you had done better, you would the probability that have achieved that being the moment that you've achieved the goal is high. I don't want to live with that regret again in my life. I don't want to wake up in the next 3 months and say, what are you even good at? Is there any progress? Like I've been stagnant for a year. God. One of the reasons I'm being vulnerable and putting this out here is that I could just keep short and not make this video. But I know because I believe that experiences are the best teacher, right? So if experiences are the best teacher, why don't you just learn from another person's experience? Do you get what I mean? So that's why I'm putting it out there as my own experience and my own view on life because another person might learn out of it, even though it's just a tiny bit of the video you can use to learn from it. That's why I put this type of videos out. Right now, it's just more about minimizing every other thing. Now, so I'm gonna put a screenshot of what someone commented on my video. First of all, I really appreciate what you said. But my goal right now, like I said, every other thing that's not a priority that is not like maybe 100% of me want to get good at. Training is the only thing that 100% of my cells and body want to actually be good at, like passionate about, is trading. So any other thing comes third. I cannot be using in a and the average edited video you guys see on my channel, like when I was still editing videos, was like at least a minimum of 7 hours because my laptop lags a lot. There's no light. I have to go and charge. Sometimes I don't like it's just crazy, and sometimes I make sure I don't just go and charge anyhow because they might actually steal the laptop. So I just know the time when not to go and the time when to go. That those kind of thing. So like instead of and the better part of it is that if I'm just let's say my battery's capacity will only edit for like 4 hours or 3 hours even before um before switching off, it's still gonna last for like 7 hours if I'm just like backtesting on the chart. So why don't you use that battery life to study and actually get good at something for once in my life? Now the thing about it is that a lot of things that a lot of people kind of like a lot of people find hard when it comes to like the mental psychology bullshit part. To be honest, I'm not kind of hating this kind of psychology of a thing because right now in my life, I don't need to watch more psychology videos. That's not what I need. I don't need to watch more Mark Douglas or something like that or read any training Mark Douglas book. That's not what I need. I believe that now I'm thinking here, psychology is not everything. Yeah, you get to a point whereby me right now, the only point I think I need psychology to like just self-aware and um is when I'm kind of like scaling. Do you know what I mean? That's when those kind of inner demons want to come out again. When you are scaling, of course, there'll always be that part whereby you wanna. Or like I said, I believe in that this whole trading in psychology, everything all boils down back to two things, right? The first one is after you've studied the chart and have an edge that doesn't take 50 losses, that doesn't take 50 losses in a row. You have an edge. Any edge that cannot survive drawdown is not an edge. And what do I mean by drawdown? I mean, if you can, well, and how you want to define your edge, right? You have an edge, you've studied the charts and have an edge, a repeatable and scalable edge. This the only thing that can hinder you from profitability when it comes to the psychology part is basically back down to your lot size. That is it. That is the only thing that can bring out some stupid emotions in you, your lot size. Think about it. All that thing, studying and having that confidence will cure it. Because studying the charts will make you have some crazy confidence. You cannot even hesitate. I took a trade yesterday. Yeah, this week now I've taken 3 trades. I've had wins, I've had losses. I took a trade yesterday. I was just like, psh, I would never have taken that trade before. Do you know what I mean? When I'm not studying, of course, when I'm not back to that locked in mode of studying the chart. And the crazy thing is that every time I've studied the chart for like locked in and actually studied the chart, I've always like had results. Do you get what I mean? I've always like had results because it gives you confidence. You never hesitate on a trade. It now depends on how you're studying. You're not studying all strategies because when you're doing too much, over complication, you start to guess. Do you get what I mean? So it all comes down back to every other thing. Studying will cure it. Do you get what I mean? Studying will cure it. So it all comes down back to the lot size that you're using. If the lot size is more than your risk appetite, those guess hesitation is going to come out. Do you get what I mean? So it all comes back to lot size. So all this psychology bullshit is kind of overrated right now. To be honest, it's overrated. Kilo day. Study the fucking chart. Study the chart, oh. Study this chart. Study this chart. Right. The creative part of it is that I've made this video yesterday. That one said was like maybe 2:50 something a.m. I made this video yesterday, but it just disappeared. Literally, like the video just disappeared. And now this one is getting to 21 minutes. That one I did 21 minutes, then I did 6 minutes, and then another 2 minutes to round up the video. So maybe I should just off the video now and re-on it again. So maybe this this should not gonna disappear. I'm s- I'm 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 so pissed with that version of myself that held me back. And let's just say I've cut it off 85%. Like I said, I read an article for like 4 months and I was just like, it's hard to change. Trust me. It's hard to change. It's hard. It's not something that's, especially when that belief is kind of rooted in your subconscious mind. You get what I mean? And also that belief of, so like I said, I haven't even completed the analogy I was giving. So let's say I have 5 cups. Yeah, this is how it's been. I'm not even trying to like fill the 5 cups like at the same time. Do you understand? This is how my life has been. I'm gonna like put all my effort in this 1 cup, try and grow, fill it to like 20%. Then I'll say that okay, all other cups are actually lagging. I've not been consistent with other cups, and then rush back in and rush back to other cups, try and put all my focus again, and then I'm gonna grow it to 20%. And while I'm growing this other cup to 20%, this 20% I grew is already decreasing again. And then I'm just going on, going back to other cups, coming back to other cups. And I think one of my strengths also is I assimilate things fast, right? But what's the point of those assimilating things fast? Because whenever I put in the work, I always have that, like, I always see results in fitness, in calisthenics, any other thing I've been doing. Every time I actually put in the work, for like, when I mean put in the work, I mean like maybe 1 week, not like maybe 1 month even. What if I now actually focus on 1 cup and put all my focus on it? So that's why I'm literally like, bro, this is not where you should be, but in the midst of everything, it's not about who we were, but about who we become. Is Am I right? Yeah. It's about let's now focus on the present. Every moment we take now in the present will dictate the future we're gonna have, will dictate how the next 3 months is gonna be, will dictate how the next 6 months is gonna be. Like I said, that question I asked myself awakened something in me. It's really brought out my ego. Like, what are you good at? You've been doing all this shit for years now. What are you good at? What are you good at? Nothing. Literally nothing. Literally nothing. And I think it's time. It's time to lock in on what matters. It's time to lock in. Right? So going back to that this thing. YouTube, I'm here. The purpose of me coming to YouTube is to document my journey, right? Is to document my journey, and if I can make money on the side, is a plus, right? But it's not. I'm not gonna take it as priority again, especially now, especially now that my environment is kind of limiting the amount of workforce or work ethic I put in, because most of my things that I do that has to do with productivity is kind of on my laptop. And there are some things you can't just control. Do you get what I mean? So I have to work on what I can control right now and try to be good at it so I can now move on to the next step, so I can get out of maybe here and go to a better place that won't give me limitation as fast as possible. Like Alex Moses said, if he wants to do it over again, he's gonna pick one thing, just one thing, and try and do as many reps as fast as he can. That is my mindset right now. That's why I said 3 months. The next 3 months, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be able to answer that damn question that I was not able to answer now. I will answer it. I must answer it. Nah, man. I must answer it too. I must answer that question in the next 3 months, right? And to be honest, right now I'm just kind of lost of order. I think I'm already wasting too much time here, Seth. Yeah. Um, and another thing, just to round up the video, a lot of us we have especially people who are kind of like documenting their journey or something like that. They have this limited mindset, and when you have this limited mindset, you are not willing to, when you are not willing to acknowledge the possibilities of what an opposing party is willing to say, because that's where growth comes in. Because for you to act, for you to be open-minded comes from humility. Do you get what I mean? And open-mindedness, even though the information even though the information might be bad, right, might not really be useful like that, but at least you're open-minded to like actually acknowledge. Because when you're open-minded, you now start to see the possibilities of things that you haven't been seeing. Do you get what I mean? You start to make some realization that, hey bro, this might actually not fully be the way. There might actually be some truth in what this guy is saying. Do you get what I mean? And not just being confined in just, nah, what I know is what is it. Nah, what you know is what is the subconscious mind accept no truth other than there's no truth other than what the subconscious mind believes to be true. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, I won't even say more than that. I think that's the end of this video, and I hope you took one or two things from me from this video, and how it can also help you in your journey. You can be ambitious, but still be stagnant if you don't do it the right way. And it's more about the money you will make if you focus on one thing. It's crazy. Peace out.